here we go. We're getting into our fresh best of 5, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Crimson Court, we have our French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming for the land of Denmark. Just took down beyond 2-0, by the way. It is MaxPax. The most important thing is to not let Protoss players have map control so they don't get perma-kited. Yo, I've seen a TvP in my day where that's, yeah, it's not pretty. That is not pretty, Papi. I'm reminded of oh God, who was it? Was it Migs versus? I think it might have been Migs versus MaxPax. Was it? No. Sorry. I'm thinking of Maru. Was it Maru versus MaxPax in WTL like 2 years ago or a year ago? I remember casting with Asher, and I remember because Asher he's our local Terran apologist, and he was smudging quite a bit, seeing that happen to Maru of all players. He's like, what can you do? What can you do? That was also on Gressvan. It was no. It wasn't on Gressvan. It was on the smaller map. Oh my God, what's it called? Hold on. The small map. I believe it was in the Gressvan map pool. Oh God, I can't remember the name. I'm looking it up on Wikipedia. Premier tournaments. Oh God, I'm not gonna remember this. It's gonna eat away at me. Not Waterfall, but around that era. Not Waterfall. The map where you could mine through minerals to take a third base, like a linear third. As for now, we're going for Proxy Rax. I should focus on the game. It's going to be Proxy Rax here from Clem. We do have a bunker on the low ground to make use of these Reapers. Reaper does dip in, forces out the first Zealot, and probes are under fire. We have yet to get a kill yet. One probe does go down, and from here, Clem can go to the low ground and deny any kind of mining at the unnatural third natural base. Oh my God, the unnatural natural. MaxPax is in a really rough position here now. Unfortunately, in this patch, Cyclone follow-ups aren't too effective, or they aren't as effective as they once were. So true, this response is actually more viable nowadays. I haven't seen this too often. So what I'm referring to is last patch and last map pool, when a Protoss player was forced to take an unnatural natural and was denied their natural base, they couldn't actually take this base because Cyclone follow-ups were brutal. Cyclone follow-ups would just kill you and they would just pull you apart. And that is one of the reasons why the Cyclone was also nerfed. And in the nerf of the Cyclone means that you can now try and do this, but yeah, we're containing MaxPax to one base for quite some time. Zell moves out across the map, sorry, Adept moves out across the map. Reapers dive in. We have a Hellion as well. And Clem just keeping MaxPax contained for as long as he can. Has to be careful with that repair. SCV getting low. And the bunker is going to eventually be salvaged. And back at him, Clem is expanding. The salvage not quite there. It's going to go down. But the CC is on the way. Neo-Humanity, yes, that's it. Neo-Humanity. Oh my God. You remember, Papi. You remember. But yeah, I remember casting a WTL match with Asher. I'm pretty sure it was Maru versus MaxPax. And we entered that game state where MaxPax had perpetual Novas and Maru just got bullied the hell back. It was, the smudge was real. Asher's smudge was real. Good times, good times. Back at home, we do see, again, our expansion is quite delayed here. So even though Clem did delay mining for so long, has yet to expand, just now getting into his natural base. Meanwhile, he does rock up with a couple of Cyclones. Oh, they are going to be shut down, though. And the pickup is real. MaxPax opening up Stargate. We'll shut down the first Cyclone, moving out across the map. And with these Phoenixes, we're going to be able to completely shut down the aggression of MaxPax. Going to be contained here to his 2-base setup. Tank is getting in position. It's not ready yet. No, the tank. The lift is real. Boyd's being pulled to repair, but it's too little too late. The tank is going to go down. The tank falls. The Cyclone thereafter. There's barely anything to defend. Boys are being pulled, and we can't afford to lose SCVs. Not in this game state. Not after such a late expansion. Not a bad surround. We get 3 SCV kills. I'm in a bit of trouble. Viking going to be shut down as well. The Marines one after the other. Now, thankfully for Clem, we're out of energy. We cannot lift up. Not anymore. We're out of energy. Clem has a moment of reprieve. As MaxPax behind this, taking a 3rd base, working up towards his robot production, his Bay production, sorry, into Colossus. Yeah, now Clem is going to be contained. With our Phoenix counts, we can just keep an eye on any kind of drop play, any kind of move out, punish it. Oh. So we still have to be careful. I'm trying to settle into his own 3CC. We have our 3-1-1 setup. Phoenix as they dip into the main. Again, it's been a very chaotic early game here, and even I'm just trying to find my bearings. Clem does, of course, MaxPax out. And again, back at home, MaxPax, he's just happily saturated on 2 bases, getting his 3rd up and running. Colossus are on the way. Just a much more standard Phoenix Colossus setup here on Crimson Court. When the Phoenixes are not done, we're getting even more damage done here. 2 more CVs. Rotating towards that natural. Cyclone lock-on is going to be denied, but we do get 1 Phoenix. Not bad. 1 Phoenix does fall. But again, Clem doesn't have any stim, doesn't have any upgrades, doesn't have any pushing power, really. Is building up a hefty Viking count, and that will help against both Phoenixes and Colossus. Speaking of, MaxPax already moving out. Uh-oh. The tank on the... Oh, not like this! The tank caught unsieged! Yeah, we smell blood in the water. We go for the kill. The tank is lifted. And the tank does go down. And now the ground army. What can we really do here? The Colossus going ham. Marine's going to be falling. Viking count reset. GG gets called as MaxPax snowballs out of control and will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, I haven't seen that kind of block play too often in this matchup in the new patch, so excited to see Clem do it. And I mean, he did delay the expansion for quite some time, but he was also a little bit more committed. He was doubling down and getting into factory production, of course getting to his Hellions, getting to his Cyclones. He did delay his CC by quite a bit there, hoping to get even more done. Alas, he didn't. And with that, MaxPax does take a lead. Now we're diving into game number 2. Oh boy. This is what I love about Clem and MaxPax, is that because they play against each other so often, we actually don't get that many macro games between them. Things can get a lot more chaotic, as they're very much so used to each other. They metagame each other a lot as well. It can be quite a different dynamic. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Danish Protoss player. The Red Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Down in this series, going for another proxy racks across the map. Okay, this time I'm not distracted by reminiscing about series gone by, about WTL. I'm good. So once again, it's going to be another proxy racks here by Clem. MaxPax moving out. Now with this proxy racks, ideally you do want to not just get into Reapers, but you do want to get that bunker, whether it's in the mineral line or behind it, maybe even delay the expansion, force the unnatural natural, as we saw in the previous game. It's going to be a similar setup here by Clem. as a probe scout is going to be coming in. And we do confirm that the Rax is missing. Now, the Rax could be thrown down further back into the main. It could be thrown down here at the natural. It could be at the third base or either third base location. So seeing the missing Rax is not the biggest of tells. But MaxPax are going to play it safe and make that Zealot. Reaper's on the way. SCV does bide its time here. Nexus is thrown down. And the SCV is going for that bunker. The probe on the chase is going to get some hits in. Now this SCV can use some RNG to get into the other side of the wall. Bunker's on the way. SCV has taken quite a lot of hits already though. Uh-oh. It's getting low. Oh. One shot away from going down. It will barely survive, but the bunker is still quite a ways away. RNG not in Clem's favor. Reaper dips in. Zealot headed across the map. Or headed actually at the choke point. You get one probe kill. One probe does fall. SCV, oh, barely shut down in time. We force the cancel the bunker. We'll knock it up and running, and MaxPax can now freely mine from his natural base. A much cleaner defense this time from our Protoss player. And back at home, Clem is expanding. Factory is almost done. CC is on the way. This time, I believe, a lot faster compared to the previous game, and MaxPax even confirms all of this with the probe scout in the main. So MaxPax is fully aware. Reaper's going to shut this down. MaxPax, what did we see? We were able to get eyes on the starport, so we're aware of the 111 follow-up. It's not going to be bio-heavy or anything of the sort. And back at home, this time MaxPax is opening up Twilight Council into Blink. It's going to be our Twilight Council opener. Is going to be pulling back. Reapers, they do end up going the long way around here. They avoid the Stalkers. As the Stalkers move out, Reapers are going to be moving in. And we're going to apply a bit of pressure here. The Cyclone should be able to hold the line. As I say that, Depot taking a lot of hits. Reaper's going to cross the map. There is one Stalker to defend. Reapers are forced back, and the Depot is going to fall. Not a bad pickoff. Do get the Depot, but we should clean this up without losing our Cyclone. And Clem will eventually be able to expand here. Back at home, how many gateways do we have? So it's only going to be 2 gate blink from MaxPax. So it looks like more of an econ. Oh no, never mind. Did I say 2 gate blink? That's a 3rd gateway on the way. So 3 gate blink out of MaxPax. Now we saw this against Bjorn, how he went 3 gate blink every single game, and it worked out very nicely for him. We see something similar here out of MaxPax. With 3 gate blink, you're able. It does mean that your third base is delayed. That is true. Your third base is a little bit later than with 2 gate blink, for example. But you gain map control. You strip that away from the Terran player. And you can also harass across the map and even get some damage done. First Reaper is shut down. Prism is on the way, so we can move out and reinforce. Raven coming in to harass is going to be spotted by MaxPax. Is aware. Raven is going to be trapped. Raven's going to be trapped for now. We can always dip in and throw down an auto turret. Behind this, Clem building up his bio, getting into his 3-1-1 setup. With Stim, did prioritize tank production. Thankfully, we've got 1 tank on the low ground. Bunker is done. We have a tank on the high ground as well. So we have a pretty solid defensive line so far. MaxPax looking to contain. Again, our Protoss player doesn't have to try to force the issue and blink into any of these bases. And we test the waters at the natural. We spot the bunker and the tank. Forge is on the way for +1. Charge as well. The game is going to be calming down for a moment as MaxPax is going for the mineral line. This tank not quite in position to defend it, but at least the rest of the bio army is keeping up. Yeah, we just zoned that prism away. Getting some hits in. Gateway explosion. Oh, behind this, getting to 8 gateways here for MaxPax. 8 gates and Colossus production also on the horizon. So again, MaxPax, he just skips warp-ins. He doesn't reinforce, spending that money on production, on tech instead, settling in back at home, and Clem is going to be contained for now. For now. Once we get Stim, then we can break out. We can break out, we can expand, we can take our 3rd base. We'll get there. Clem is going for his double drop here towards the right-hand side. The Prism is keeping up, but there's no Stalkers. Oh, we can catch the Prism! Up! Prism under fire. Clem unable to catch it. Oh, could even bleed out his own Raven! Oh, that was a full energy Raven as well. That was a rough pick-off. Rough loss for Clem. MaxPax blinking back, going for a Zealot run-by. As we pull back home. Raven's still not able to do much damage. Getting 2 probe kills so far. Headed for the natural. And Clem is sending everything across the map. The tanks they have on siege, they're moving out. Sim is done, so it's +1. Solid force fields here out of MaxPax. Shaves off a lot of Marines. We can see Clem trying to force the issue just him in. We have the overcharge. Overcharge is popped. MaxPax barely holding on. The Colossus arrives just in time. And pushing up this ramp into Colossus is not going to happen. We are within range of the base. Nexus does take some hits. Across the map, the Zealots get some SCV kills. 8 SCVs go down. MaxPax coming in from behind with the Immortal. Up! Tanks a shot. We do have eyes on this. The base taking some hull damage. Ooh. Immortal barely does survive. And you can see MaxPax, he is breaking out. Once again, nice juggling with that Immortal. Finally, it goes down. And we're running out of gateway units. That Colossus barely holding on. The Zealots have gone down. We're going for the base. Can Clem break him? It's close. Oh, it's so close. The base down to less than half HP. Chargers come in with these reinforcements. It looks like Clem, he has too much. He breaks through the army. Boys are being pulled. Now we're on 2 Colossus. The juggling, the overcharge once again. Now keeping the Colossus alive. 10 workers go down, and it looks like MaxPax holds. Oh my god, just barely. Buying enough time for the 2nd overcharge. And fun fact, our worker counts are pretty even. Like, we have 51 workers here to 49. This is still better for Clem as he has mules, of course. Still a better economy, going for a double drop into the main base, but MaxPax has survived. But it's not over yet. We have a drop into the main base. We have the main push towards the 3rd. MaxPax still barely has an army. Still down in supply. He's defending with 1 sentry and one Colossus. 2 units. Wooden bust in. Vikings, they shut down the Colossus. And Clem, it looks like finally he has broken the 3rd base. As I say that, Zealots are coming in. We have reinforcements. Do catch 12 workers. Drop still active in the main. Going for the Colossus. Up! We go for the dive. And the Colossus goes down. And MaxPax forces with his detention. Somehow once again saves the base, but it did cost him his Colossus. Down to 0. So I'll run by across the map. Going for a warp in. Going for a drop, and Clem doesn't care. He's going to keep pushing. Reinforcements are kept back at home. Overcharge is popped. 8 SCVs fall. MaxPax dropping here at the 3rd. Is going to be forced to recall and will barely save the Prism. MaxPax, he has been able to amass up, not Colossus, but Archons. A handful of Archons. First Colossus does now come out, and MaxPax, he's forcing Clem back. Isn't making probes though. Oh! Isn't making probes though. Mine shot did just occur there in the center of the map, and it looks like MaxPax has run out of steam. Clem ties up the series. Whew. GG. Oh my god. Clem ties it up, but MaxPax refused to die there. It was crazy. It was crazy. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a tied up 1-1 score, and we're getting ready for game number 3. And again, MaxPax, even though he was barely holding on, he lost all of his Colossus. His economy was crippled. He was down to what, like 36 probes, something like that. Less than 3 base saturation, less than 2 base saturation. And Clem did barely break him. And we're going for game 3. Still not the ace match. It's a best of 5. But we're here to determine who takes the lead in this series. Whew, let's go. Let us go. We are settling in and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion. We have our French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid, tying up the series 1-1. Fighting back here in the grand finals. Can he take a lead? It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Go. Here we go. As again, we're going to be able to indulge in some of these maps that are usually vetoed. Our first time casting tonight on Amphion in the best of 5. Love to see it. This map does have some unique features, of course, with the triangular third base being a little bit more defendable. Even the linear third as well. Shorter rush distance by air, so drop play or even Stargate play is a lot more viable here. Likewise, the main base is pretty heavily fortified. Something like 4-gate blink or even 3-gate blink, I doubt we're going to be seeing it just because you can't really harass the main. Likewise, even blinking into the natural is quite an endeavor here, as yeah, you have to work through this narrow choke point or try to be a little bit more creative with how you do engage. So I imagine we're going to be seeing a Stargate opener or a Robo opener instead. I don't actually think I've seen MaxPax go into too many Robo openers himself. I've been seeing it a lot from the Korean Protoss players as a way to open up a little bit more defensively, especially on some of these smaller maps. I'm talking about Ghost River or Post Youth. But yeah, I'm curious how MaxPax does approach these maps and this matchup instead. I'm curious. As the first Reaper does move out, it's going to be threading the bases, catching a probe. Not a bad start. Probe is found. And MaxPax has yet to throw down his tech, and there it is. It's going to be the Stargate opener. Again, Stargate openers and Robo openers are a lot more commonplace on this map on Amphion, just because of how defendable it is, how difficult it is to, again, be aggressive with those Blink Stalkers. As the Reaper is going to be shut down, and Clem does not get into the main, so is a little bit in the dark. Thankfully, does have a second Reaper, but we are blocked off here at the Reaper Cliff. So the scout is denied, and back at home, Clem has to play this out safely. Interesting, opening up Reaper Hellion. Okay. It's going to be triple Reaper, double Hellion here by Clem. With this kind of opener, our goal here is to bust into a mineral line and get some economic damage done. Based on our Sim City, we don't have a wall off at the ramp, so there is potential. But the Adepts do scout the army. They scout the build. MaxPax is getting ready. We have 2 Adepts in position. Phoenix is building up as well. We'll see Clem if Clem can bust through, going for the initial adept. Hellion takes a lot of damage. First adept goes down. But the Hellions, they have taken a bit too much. And we should clean this up. Boys are being pulled. Hellion does fall. But the Reapers, they break in. They do bust in. They deny some mining time. A third Reaper has arrived. We get one probe. Second probe. And can we get we can get a third. Can we get a fourth? We're out of energy. 4 probes. Not bad. 5. A 5th probe goes down. A very successful push here by Clem. It doesn't just get economic damage done. It also gets a full scout of the tech, confirms the Phoenixes, confirms and even wastes a lot of energy as well on said Phoenixes. Ooh, as we get 6 probe kills. And can we get a 7th? Oh, casito. Confirming additional Phoenixes, and oh, we can! 7 probes do fall. Back at home, we're chilling, getting into Cyclones, getting into Vikings. Preparing here for the eventual counterattack. I mean, that is a lot of Phoenixes. That is something to be respected. But again, Clem is getting ready for it. Marines, Vikings, and Cyclones, everything that shoots up. We'll see if MaxPax can get any kind of counter damage done. So far, the answer is no. But the Phoenixes are still full HP. They can still threaten the bases. They rotate around towards the main. Clem keeping up with his Marines and his Cyclone. Splits up his forces, does defend. Whew. Does weather the storm, and now we have a 3rd CC on the way. Clem contends with macroing from here. So he does have a nice lead. Back at home, MaxPax still focusing on Phoenixes, does dive in, gets one of these Vikings. Oh, barely does. Trading a Viking for a Phoenix. Oh, that was a brutal trade for MaxPax. Considering his earlier losses, we can't afford those kind of trades. MaxPax rotating back in. Oh, doesn't quite catch the tank. Not yet. The Bay is on the way. This is going to be for Phoenix Colossus again. A much more meta standard army composition here, or playstyle in TvP. Oh, you love to see it. Phoenix Colossus, man. But it's what MaxPax has to rely on here. He does have to rely on going for the triangular 3rd base. We spoke about this briefly earlier about how this 3rd base is quite defendable. Again, you have to knock down rocks or mine through minerals to gain access to this area. And even if you do, you have to push up a ramp. You have 2 ramps here on the left and right hand side. So you do have quite a defender's advantage there from MaxPax. Or from the defending player. And we're going into a 2nd Stargate. Oh my god. Okay. Going Mass Phoenix. And this may even lead into a fleet beacon. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on MaxPax. As now we do catch a Viking. Taking some damage, but not losing a Phoenix this time. Pulling back, we've built up towards 9 Phoenixes so far. And the first Colossus is still on the way. Oh! Catching another Viking. And keeping the Viking count low. Important, especially when you're working towards Colossus as well. These Vikings can be quite a threat. Clem getting his 3rd up and running, still maintaining his economic lead. Still does maintain that lead. And we're just waiting for our upgrades to kick in. Stim is done, combat shield is done, +1 is still on the way. Oh, ooh, as this time we do catch a Phoenix. +1 is halfway done. We have our Ghost Academy, the rest of our Vaxes. Clem is pushing. And Clem has yet to confirm the location of the 3rd. Still in the dark. So where he wants to move out. We do see our Marine Scouts checking for expansions. Checking for bases. And there is +1 air attack on the way. Again, we're committing so hard here to Phoenixes. Only just now finishing up our Colossus. And there's that fleet beacon. Let's go. It's going to be Phoenix Colossus into Sky Toss as we dive into the main base. A couple of SCVs go down, but only 2. Clem trying to catch out the Phoenixes, but again, that's a lot of Phoenix. Ooh, gets 1. And what is the ground army looking like? 2 Colossus, 1 shield battery, 1 cannon, more stack defense on the way. The rocks are being knocked down. As Clem did confirm the lack of third on the right-hand side. We almost get a Colossus. Phoenix is dipping in. But that's a 9 Vikings versus 13 Phoenixes. There's a 3rd Stargate on the way. Anion Pulse Crystals as well. The Phoenix falls again. Very crisp control here by Clem. He has to be very careful with these Vikings. Doesn't want to throw them away. Oh, gets an extra volley off. Gets a Colossus. Yeah, now we commit. Now we stim in. The Phoenixes, they did overextend for a moment there. Yeah, massive EMP on the Phoenixes as well. They melt before the army. Oof. That was brutal. GG gets called. It's just too much. Clem snowballs out of control, and Clem takes a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Clem did an insane amount of damage early on with his Reaper Hellion opener, and it wasn't just that Clem did a lot of damage with his initial opener, it was also that he didn't take any damage from the Phoenix counterattack, right? That was when the onus was on MaxPax to try to get some damage done, but he was also on low energy, had a lot of, and we saw that Clem was so ready with Cyclones, with Vikings, was so prepared for MaxPax, and GG, well played. It was interesting to see MaxPax double down on Mass Phoenix into eventually Sky Toss that was on the horizon there. It was ambitious, but wasn't quite able to pay off in the end. And now we see that Clem is 1 game away from taking it all. Uno mas, papi. Uno mas is all he needs. Can MaxPax fight back on Site Delta? Let's go. The EMP was huge. The EMP was huge. It was towards the end of that fight where all the Phoenixes were stacked. We had a massive EMP on them. It took away all of their energy, of course, their shields. And really, Phoenixes was the main bulk of the army for MaxPax. He had like 2 Colossus, but again, no support for them. It was mainly the Phoenix. With that, that was a game. And now we're diving into game number 4. Potentially the final game of the series, as sporting in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our French Terran player representing Team Liquid. Leading the series 2-1. Onomas is all he needs. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. He has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Here we go. Whew. As we are going to be settling in, Clem throwing down his racks back at home. No going for a proxy racks. Didn't do it last game either, but we've been seeing quite an amount of aggression from Clem throughout this series. This time, though, chilling out, going for a more standard opener. MaxPax coming in with his Probe Scout, does confirm that the Rax is in position, is back at home. Making sure that everything is as it should be. And we can see that it's a Rax expand. Only a single gas has been taken. We're going for a CC, whether it's on the high ground or the low ground. It's like attempted to be on the low ground. And MaxPax will confirm, will delay, is being as annoying as possible. Oh, and we'll delay the command center by quite a bit, actually. Oh, and it will be thrown down, delayed by a couple of seconds, you know, not by too much, but definitely an annoying thing here for Clem, as he's getting into a more economic opener. And now, as we're loading into Site Delta, as opposed to the previous map, something like Blink can still be seen. I imagine it's still going to be a Stargate opener. Again, this main base is not as impenetrable as it is on Amphion, but still not as many options or not as many openings here for something like Blink. We'll see. As we're soon to throw down our tech of choice, and it is going to be the Twilight Council. Okay, it's going to be a Blink-based opener. Now, so far in this series, every time we've seen MaxPax open up Blink, it's been 3-gate Blink. We've seen 3-gate Blink more often than not. We'll see if he goes for a more economic 2-gate Blink opener, if he doubles down on 4-gate Blink. We'll see. Might also be, especially after that last game, MaxPax is like, I'm done with Star gameplay. I'm done with these Phoenixes. Give me some Blink Stalkers, Pat. True, true. He wants to play some StarCraft. Let him micro. This Blink is on the horizon. Adept's going to be threatening a Shade. In between the bases. So far, we are keeping up. Behind this, it is going to be a 1-1-1 follow-up. Interesting. Going for a Hellion drop. You don't see this too often. But we're banking up Hellions in the main base, going for, I imagine, a medevac. Let's go. I feel like usually when we see Hellion drop openers, it's with a proxy starport across the map just to hit that much quicker and that much harder. But this is not the most orthodox of builds. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Clem is cooking. Oh. So he does threaten a dive across the map. It is going to be 2 gates on the way, so it's going to be a 3-gate Blink opener once again from MaxPax. So looks like, wait, my apologies. That is not 3-gate Blink. That is 4-gate Blink. 2 gateways already done. 2 more on the way. 4-gate Blink. Let's go. MaxPax is doubling down. Hellion drop is moving out. Going to take the long way around towards the right-hand side. Now, I am a little bit concerned. We do have our first tank on the way, thankfully. Because Clem skipped his SCV scout, because he skipped his Reaper, Clem actually hasn't scouted the tech. He's still in the dark as to what's going on. He doesn't know whether it's a Twilight Council opener, doesn't know how many gateways there are, so he has to play this out very safely. Bunker is on the way. Here come those Stalkers. Drop is moving out. And if the drop hits just as MaxPax warps in, then MaxPax could lose a lot of workers to these Hellions. 3 Hellions do one-shot probes. Here comes the warp in. Hellion drop still waiting outside, still not diving in. As the Stalkers, they dive on 4, they pick up some Marines. Marines are being focused down. We do have the repair. We're trying to hold on. With the help of the Otis Heart, we should force back the army. At the same time, Hellion drop into the main base. A very nice movement out of MaxPax. Does minimize his losses. Some probes are going down, but we do warp in back at home. At the same time, across the map, we dive into the main. And we're going for Stim. And there's only one tank. It's on the low ground. Stim, it's going to be denied. The second tank siege is up, but a little bit too late. As the army is going to be forced back. But getting Stim is huge. Meanwhile, those 3 Hellions are all still alive in the medevac. Going for another drop. Headed for the natural. We got 7 probe kills, and we're going to get some more. Getting up to 9. Oof. 9 probes, but the medevac is going to be shut down. MaxPax has held. And again, without Stim, it's going to delay any kind of move out for so long. Oh, we don't get the Observer. Observer does survive. Stalker still containing Clem. And MaxPax looking comfortable. Doesn't have to worry about any kind of drop play anymore. Has vision of the main, full vision of the main base, confirms the 3rd TC, confirms that there is no 2 base all in, and we dive into the natural. We focus down the first tank. The bunker goes down as well. The void pool is too late. The boys trying to help out. Again, the blinks of MaxPax a little bit too good here. Catch a Viking. And suddenly this position that much more vulnerable. We're still on 2 tanks. 1 in each base. The Observer confirms everything. Oh, as it's finally going to be shut down. Finally, it is spotted. As we distract at the natural, dropping into the main. Can we get combat shield? Oh no, it's going to finish. We'll finish in time, thankfully. Going for SCVs instead. We do get 2. SCVs go down, we get the hell out of there. Again, without Stim, there's nothing threatening the threatening the War Prism. That Protoss medevac. You get me? And MaxPax is not going into Colossus. We're working towards a Templar Archives, towards Archons, and potentially Storm as well. Okay. I see you. Building up the Gateway Army. Clem finally breaking free with the double drop. Moving towards the right-hand side. MaxPax did miss it. Still being quite active. The Observer gets here just in time. The drop is spotted. And we do warp in. And we even recall. MaxPax baiting in the drop. We blink on forward. Full medevac goes down. And so does the second. Massive pickup. 2 full medevacs down the drain. And this is what happens when Clem moves out. He can't. He's stuck at home. Oh. Catches the Stalker. As Clem takes his 3rd base, Prism comes back in. The mines! Oh, not quite connecting. So we're in position, but MaxPax did notice in time. Getting into the mineral line. SCV's going down, going for a warp in. Same time, the main army does push forward. The tanks are on siege! Oh, we catch them! Not like this. 1 tank goes down. And Clem being pulled apart. Zealot still harassing in the main base. Tank does siege up on the high ground. But what about the 3rd? What about the mineral line? Was we even force some friendly fire? 10 SCVs full. The Prism still alive. Zealot is still in the main. They're still wreaking havoc. As finally the Prism is going to go down. But as it falls, MaxPax hits the 3rd. Just bleeding off too many SCVs. MaxPax taking the economic lead. And we have Storm. We haven't seen it yet, but throughout all of this, we've been taking up. Storm is done. And High Templar are building up energy back at home. We're ready for the main push. Clemmy's had enough, going for another drop. There is an Observer in position. We can still hit the 4th. There is still potential. MaxPax sharking around. Drop is spotted. MaxPax does respond. Clem not quite diving into the main. Not that ambitious. Backs the hell off. But this at least did force MaxPax all the way back home. Now Clem, he can stabilize. He can just take a breather here. He can calm things down. Settle into his 3-base setup. 4th base is on the way. But we still have some catching up to do here. And working on Widow Mines. The bio army is quite small as well. A lot of it is tied up in this drop. And the ideal for MaxPax is to catch out the drop on its own. Who catches who? As well, speaking of, we catch a tank here between the bases. Clem coming in from behind. Oh, but the Storms are here. Yeah, Storm zones them away. So have 2 more High Templar, 2 more Storms, going for a big warp in. And Clem collapsing on the army. Oh, has 2 more Storms, 3 more. Oh my god! As the Storms do connect, GG gets called. MaxPax breaks into the natural, and we're going to the ace match. GG. Going all the way to game number 5. Whew. Let's go. Going all the way to game 5 here. The only way this really could have ended between Clem and MaxPax. Again, they do go back and forth, and it all comes down to this final game on Alcyone. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. Catching up in the chat. Oh my god. MaxPax's aggression is a little different than Hero's aggression. It's fun to compare them. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. They have like really different, not even aggression, but play styles as well. That's why it's a little bit refreshing, like dipping into ESL EU. Like mostly we cast Korean players here on the CranKy Ducklings. I have to rely on ESL Open Cup Americas and you know, a rare EU cast here and there, like ESL Open Cup EU, to embrace the Clem v MaxPax. And it is refreshing. It is very different. It is very different. I appreciate it. Hero is a little more chaotic. Hero's a very different kind of Protoss player, and he's a little more unique. Well, I mean, they're both unique in their own way, and yeah, a little more chaotic. But here we go. We're diving into our Game 5. We're diving into our ace match, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion, we have our Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. But yeah, here he's a lot more willing to embrace proxies, whether it's Proxy Robo, Proxy Gate, Proxy Stargate in these openers, working towards charge-based all-ins, Storm openers, Robo openers. We spoke about that earlier as well. It's just, yeah, it's very different. Whereas I feel like MaxPax is a lot more known for his like 3 and 4 gate blink like control, where arguably he has like the best like PVT 4 gate and 3 gate blink micro out there. It's insane we can get done with it. I feel like it's a very iconic play style from MaxPax. As we're settling in, and okay, Clem is going to be going for a double gas opener instead. Interesting. Going for a double gas, which means going for a faster factory. If we were casting Oliveira or Gumiho, I'd be like, yo, 1 base all in. Nah, not here. Just racks into factory, into an expand. Pro being an annoyance, and ooh, almost gets an SCV. Oh. Is forced back though. And usually we want to recall this probe, but with how low it is, oh my god. Almost gets a worker, but it should be shut down. And no escape for the probe. As Reaper moves out across the map. Now with a double gas opener, this could be Reaper Hellion. It could be reacted Reaper into Hellion, and we could see something similar to what we saw in Amphion, where Clem busts into the mineral line and gets a lot of damage done early on. This could be for a Mind Drop opener. Speaking of, we do have our first Widow Mount on the way. This could have been for a Cyclone-based opener as well. I mean, we have options. We have options here. For now, we do have our first Widow Mount on the way, just to be safe. And it shouldn't be a surprise, we were just talking about a more iconic playstyle from MaxPax. It is Twilight Council. It is Blink. Now, how many gateways? Ooh, as 1 probe goes down. Not a bad pickoff. Ooh, but we lose the Reaper. And with that, Clem is in the dark as to what's going on. Reaper does go down. Ooh, we don't bait out the mine shots. So trading the Reaper for the Adepts. But a little bit more important here that Clem was not able to get eyes on the tech. But we'll soon be able to with the drop. As here comes that medevac. This is an opener that Oliveira is very fond of, going for the singular Widowmine into Cyclone into medevac drop, where you move out with everything. You have the Marines and the Widowmine in the medevac, and you have the Cyclone to support on the ground. It's a very aggressive opener. Can get a lot done early on, and can even threaten some of the production as... Ooh, the second Adept goes down. These are some pretty big losses early on. I say that just because at this stage of the game, you don't have a lot of gateways. You have 1 right now. We have 1 Stalker to defend, and we are pushing out. Clem is moving out. These additional gateways are finishing up. It's going to be another 3-gate Blink opener out of MaxPax. We are boosting on in. MaxPax, what do you have to defend? Okay, we have 3 Stalkers, 2 Stalkers in the main, 1 Stalker here at the natural, thankfully. So we did just warp in. Job headed for the mineral line. Stalkers a bit out of position. Ideally, the Widowmine wants to zone away these Stalkers. Speaking of, mine shot not quite connecting, but the Marines they're going for the workers. It's the Marines for the probes, Widowmine for the Stalkers. And we get 8 worker kills already. Oh god, Cyclone towards the natural. 9 probes go down. And Cyclone does bust in. And the mine shell, oh, doesn't quite connect. But it's still available. Oh, we get a Stalker. We get a Stalker. Cyclone's still going ham here at the natural base as well. We're pulling MaxPax apart. That's going to be 13 probe kills, and we're not done. Can we get one more? 14 probes. 15, that's an entire mineral line. An entire mineral line has already gone down. Now, we will clean this up, but this was a bit too much as the Liberator arrives as well. We barely have an economy to begin with. Ay, ay, ay. And MaxPax is committed. We have to go. We're moving out with everything we have. Our Stalkers, our Prism. And what do we have to defend? We have 2 bunkers on the low ground. We have a tank on the high ground as well. We are prepared. We're ready for whatever comes next. And Clem just getting too much damage done early on. Going for an extra warp in. We're building up to 8 Stalkers and a Zealots. Everything we have. Tank is sieged. Oh, we have a Banshee as well. Second tank does siege in time. Yeah, we cannot threaten this. We cannot break this position. MaxPax trying to come in from behind, going for the mineral line. We'll blink in. We'll get a couple of SCVs. Tanks out of range. Oh, barely. As the Stalkers, they also avoid those bunkers. Nice boost here by MaxPax. Avoiding the tanks and the bunkers, but oh, we'll still bleed out Stalkers. Oh, 2 Stalkers go down. MaxPax is still on 29 workers. Liberator was cleaned up across the map. Barely an economy. 4 probes went down. And MaxPax is still committed. Now, we have seen MaxPax make some magic happen with his Blink Stalker control. True. We have seen it before. We dive on the tank. Tank does fall. Marines not quite ready for this. They were in the main. Not a bad start here by MaxPax. Gets a tank, rotates around. 2 tanks in the main. Could we maybe even go for Stim? Going for the workers. Going for the mineral line, and we're diving on the tank. Clem not quite where he needs to be. We get the tank, 4 more SCVs. Again, very nice damage here from MaxPax. Shaving off even more Marines. Clem losing a lot here. And now he does rotate over towards the main base. Oof. We still cannot push into tank range. MaxPax going for another warp in. Doesn't quite get the Raven. Almost. Bio pushing forward. No Stim. But Clem, now he has enough. He can push through with the help of these Marauders. Ooh, he's chunking away at these Stalkers, and MaxPax is bleeding out his army. Trying to get as much value as possible. Gets another SCV. And we'll get a couple more. Again, it's impressive. And give MaxPax like a handful of Stalkers. A Prism and Blink. Let's go. In the end, we got 14 SCV kills. And almost even amounts. Compared to what he lost. But, I mean, Clem still has the Mule, still has a better economy, still up in workers. MaxPax getting a 3rd base, is making a game out of this. But Stim is now done. And now with the Viking, we have to back off. Aggression has ended. You went going for the Prism. Oh! We get it! A worthwhile trade for Clem. Whew, and now he's stabilized. Clem, he's stable here on 2 bases, getting a 3rd CC. Stim is done. Combat shields +1 on the way. We should be hitting a timing with that, with our tanks, with our upgrades. And MaxPax, what will we have to defend? Right now, just a gateway-focused army. Charge almost done. We're going for a Templar Archives for Archons and Storm, not for Colossus. Bear that in mind. I mean, this does mean that we can have Archons a little bit faster. Colossus take longer to make it, to bring out. Especially without that upgrade, but we have the double drop on the right-hand side. Oh, trying to cash out the Stalkers. Clem forcing that blink. Yeah, there's the blink. We get us around. GG gets called. We catch all the stalkers, and there's no coming back from this as Clem will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Europe champion. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem as he will take it in the end. Again, a very explosive early game as Clem opened up Marine Widowmine, but it wasn't just that. If you remember, MaxPax did slip up a little bit early on and he lost his first 2 Adepts. It doesn't sound like a lot, but we mentioned it at the time that early on, when you have 3 units to defend, those 3 could have been 4 or 5 there, and again, we were down to 3 Stalkers. Really nice control out of Clem as he was able to zone away the Stalkers with the Widowmine, able to just snowball out of control with the economic damage, got so many probe kills, and set himself up for success. It was impressive what MaxPax was able to accomplish with his counterattack. Very impressive, catching tanks, getting SCVs, but it still was not enough. And GG, Clem will take it. GG, well played. Oh my god. But a very back and forth and very intense series there between our 2 players. It was beautiful. Was beautiful. It was beautiful. And yeah, with that, congratulations to Clem as he's going to be this week's champion for the European region. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of him as we get ready for the Americas region. For those that are maybe unfamiliar or unaware, there are 2 players, I say 2 players, there are a handful of European players that stay up and go full degen whenever it's time for ESL Open Cup Americas. I believe the event goes deep late into the night, you know, playing at like 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. The players, the usual degens in ESL Americas are Geralt, Wayne, MaxPax, and Clem. Those are the 4 that come to mind. Sometimes Skilless, maybe, not really Skilless, not really Showtime. Lambert doesn't stay up. Hero Marine doesn't stay up. There's like a select key number of players that stay up for ESL Americas. And we're about to jump into the ESL Americas broadcast. Let's go. Oh. And I hope you enjoyed that Clem versus MaxPax series because we're going to cast them again. And we're gonna cast them again in ESL Americas. They're gonna be facing off here in the semifinals. I'm gonna need a moment to set up all the overlays, to set up the stream title, to get things ready for our next broadcast. For those curious what's going on, we just wrapped up ESL Open Cup Europe, and now we're going over the ESL Open Cup Americas replays. We were unable to cast them live. Usually we do, but these past 2 weeks we've been on an EU sleep schedule, so I haven't been able to cover and cast the Americas weeklies. Instead, we've been covering them via replays. Just as a heads up. ESL America is always the NA server. NA server is favored, so it is favored. But if you have like 2 EU players playing, they play on EU. If you have 2 Korean players playing, they play on Korea. So usually like it's we prioritize NA, but if it's ever like 2 other regional players, then we play on a different server. We try to keep it as fair as possible. Oh my god. Oh, GP, calm down. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Here we go. The early game from Clem is not standard. Yeah, there are some players that like to embrace it. Like Oliveira does that almost every game. Like going for the Widowmine into Cyclone into medevac drop for that early push. Oliveira is very fond of it. But he's like the main player that comes to mind that like always does it. Clem mixes it up. Here we go. But yeah, for now we're going to be going on a short break. Hope you've all been enjoying the broadcast so far, and we're going to be going on a short 5-minute break. Take this moment to get some rest, you know, get some snacks, hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, and cuddle your carriers. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with ESL Open Cup Americas. See you soon. See you soon. Bye.